Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to a new edition of the Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Cota. And to my far right, I got my
That's
main
right.
man, KJ, Kevin Johnson,
That's right.
former Clemson 99 through 2002 cornerback.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
today's special guest, this guy, he's from
Right,
Charleston,
man.
South Carolina, by the way of
Uptown,
Furman
baby.
Furman
University.
University.
All right.
Yes,
He
sir.
went played for the Philadelphia Eagles, also the Carolina Panthers, and the Chicago Bears. He's a tight end. Y'all give it up for my main man,
What's
Luther
up?
Broughton. What's going on,
What's
Hey,
Luther?
man.
man?
So
What's
glad to have you,
happening, man?
man.
What's going on, man? I'm happy to be here. It's a, I'm still on cloud nine, considering we're recording. What is it? Tuesday, 2 days after the Super Bowl. It
Oh,
hasn't even
yeah,
been
man.
48 hours. About 48 hours.
Yep.
Oh,
So
yeah.
bro, I hadn't even slept that much, and it's because I've been watching. I just keep watching these highlights on repeat, and every single show, and all the
That's bad.
analysts who were saying that we weren't good and we couldn't win with Jalen, and he'll never lead us to the Super Bowl, and we're frauds, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
God, man. I just want to know
Hey, they
how
look.
that crow tastes.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
got
man. Hey,
Eagle,
they looking
diehard
bad now,
Eagle in
man.
the house.
Hmm.
He
Oh, yeah.
diehard. Played for the Eagles, guys. Y'all
That's
Yeah.
give
what's
it
up,
up for
man.
Luther Broughton, man, right
Yeah.
here from the Carolinas. So, Luther,
Oh,
let
yeah, man.
everybody know where you from, a little bit about your background.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, like you guys mentioned earlier. You said Furman by way of Charleston by way of Furman. I'm Furman by way of Charleston,
Yeah,
baby.
firm by the way of
I,
Chelsea.
I was born
Yeah.
in Charleston, and I claim my city, but I'm from Hugie. I'm from Hugie, South Carolina. If you don't know where Hugie is, it's in Berkeley County, South
Yep.
Carolina. If you look outside and you see some trees and a bunch of grass and whatnot out there, that's where I'm from. I'm a country boy.
All
I'm a
right, man.
country boy. My granddaddy had a cow and a horse and chicken in the backyard. We want eggs. We went out to grandmommy said, go out there and
Yeah.
see if the chicken lays some more eggs. And
Not to the
that's
grocery store.
that's where I grew up. We went in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I grew up. I'm a country boy, and I love it. I'm all about it. I got drafted by Philly. We'll get to that sooner. Went to a huge city, but deep down inside, I wanted to be in the country, man.
Tell them
That's
what
what's
they
good,
know
man.
about that Carolina pride. That Carolina
Hey,
pride.
man, I claim it all. I claim that. That's me. Hey. I'm not
See?
trying to claim the closest city. I was born in Charleston, but
That's
All
it.
right.
I'm from
That's what it
Hugie,
is.
South Carolina. I'm a
First
country
city in
boy.
South Carolina. Go ahead,
Yes.
All right,
KJ.
my man. I got it, man. Hey, so what age you start playing sports, and what sport was your first love
Oh
growing
man.
up in Charleston?
So I started playing. I started playing sports at a very young age. I'm the oldest boy in my house. Right. I got three younger brothers and an older sister. But both of my grandparents had 10 plus kids, right? So there's a ton of first cousins, and we could have a pickup game of any sport at any time because it was enough of us. And I wanted to do what my older cousins did because I was the oldest boy in my house. I'm over here picking I
It's all
I
good.
don't know what the
Something got on there.
piece of my messy mustache got in
Oh
there.
yeah, your beard.
Um,
Yeah.
my beard. So I'm the oldest boy in my house, but my mom's sister, who she was closest with, had she had two sons older than me. They lived closer to me, and they were like my older brothers. And one of my cousins was Ricky. I wanted to do everything Ricky did. So Ricky played basketball and football. I wanted to play basketball and football. Ricky was a Clemson fan, football fan, and I was a Clemson football fan my whole childhood. And
So
it's crazy that I'm a Clemson football fan, but I'm a Tar Heel basketball fan because I started
yeah.
getting into basketball and I wanted to play football for Danny Ford. When I was 7 years old, I thought this was doable. I wanted to be able to play football for Danny Ford, but basketball for Dean Smith. I'm
So
not a bandwagoner. Those were just my guys. So back in 2016-17, I was lucky. Clemson won a natty. Tar Heels won it in basketball. Then the Eagles messed around and won their first Super Bowl. So that was the greatest sports year of my life, right? As a fan.
Wow.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
But I got into sports real early, man. I was 3, 4 years old with the ball in my hand because I had crazy athletic family, and we were from the country. We didn't have a lot to do. You go outside, you play baseball, which was stickball for us. We had a tennis ball and some sticks, and we hit that thing and chase it around.
So,
Basketball, if we couldn't, if our rims or our courts were broken, we had the tire rims up on the
yeah,
trees.
bike round.
We bike rim with
Yeah,
the tree roots breaking
no
ankles and
backboard.
what? Oh, no backboard. The tree roots about to kill you. Playing
Yeah,
tackle football like on the grass, but near the road, and it's touch on the road, but tackle in the grass. If you get caught in between, you could get tackled on that gravel and just have gravel all in
yeah,
your skin. And there's
man.
no telling. You're not going home and telling mom or dad. My
No,
dad will be
man.
like, "Did someone gang up on you? Did they beat you up?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, what are you talking about?" So, I had to toughen up real fast, but I got into sports really, really, really early. But I can tell you one thing. I ended up going to Furman, and Furman is a really tough school to get into. And part of the reasons I got into that thing is because my mom worked at the school. I played my sports, but if I couldn't keep them grades up, I was my mom was taking me off. I'm like, man, you can't take me off the team. So I had to keep them grades up. I was not about to be not playing on Friday night because I made a bad grade in class. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, so I started playing early, man.
That's
cool.
good. Good. So played tackle football back in the day like everybody, and you looked up to people in your family. You already named all your favorite teams. So when you got to middle school, what position did you play when you played football?
Bro, I didn't even play football in middle schools. Now, like I said earlier, I'm from the sticks, so we had the fifth smallest school in the state, Cainhoy High School, which isn't even there anymore. It's Cainhoy Elementary in the middle school, I think now. We consolidated, and my brothers ended up. We split the community. My brothers ended up going to Hanahan. You guys know what Hanahan High School is.
Yeah.
My brothers went to Hanahan, and the other part of the neighborhood went to Timberland, and that's where St. Stephen and Macedonia. Those guys. Now, if I was there then, and we ended up splitting up and going to Macedonia, we would have had a powerhouse because they were already stacked with Joe Hamilton, Courtney Brown, all those guys,
Oh,
Priolo guys, all those dudes, man, and the St. Stephen guys, Legree, all those guys stacked. But we had it was basically we were K through 12, bro. It wasn't elementary, middle. It was K through 12, and it was just barely a hallway to split you up. It wasn't the transition was tough, but I played. We didn't even have a JV team anymore because our school was so poor. They didn't give us any resources. Everything went to Berkeley County, Berkeley High School. You guys
okay.
know Ryan Stewart. Ryan went to Berkeley, and Charlemagne. Charlemagne. That's what those guys are from.
Okay.
Um, but I started playing football, real football, because we didn't have a middle school. Now I hoop. Hoop was I didn't mention this. Hooping was my first love. I played basketball one year in college, but I grew out of that. Hooping was my first love, and I played hooping. I was hooping as soon as I could get on the JV team. But we couldn't play football until varsity. So
Wow.
I skipped a grade when I was younger. I used to be smart. My brain's fried now. So I skipped a grade, and I was younger than everybody else. So my freshman year in high school, I was really an eighth grader. I went out for the football team. Second day I ever played football in my life, guys. Second day ever played football in my life, real tackle football. I broke my collarbone.
Damn.
I was in the band. I quit the band. I played the trombone too. I know y'all laughing.
Nah.
I quit the band to play football. And the second day of practice, I broke my collarbone. So
Uh,
I spent the whole year, and I didn't want to be away from it. I was the stat man, the stat boy. So I was on the sideline doing stats the whole year, so I could be around the team. I wanted to play, so I wanted to go back so bad. And the doctor was like, I went to the doctor because I could feel it, man. I got hit, and I was kind of a tough kid. I was going against bigger guys, and my uncle was at practice, and he saw me. kept seeing me cringing, like that cringe face, and he came over there. Everybody called me by my middle name because my dad's name was Luther, and he said, "Rashard, come here." And I said, "What's up?" He said, "Man, you all right? I don't ever see you whining like that." And I said, "Man, I think something's broken." And he reached over and touched my collarbone, and he said, "Man, we gotta go." And I said, "What?" He said, "I can feel it." And the bone was sitting on top of the other part, but you
Whoa.
know it's a small bone, so it's
Yeah.
easy. It's a little small bone that broke, and it was sitting over here. So I went to the doctor, and of course I'm terrified of needles and surgery. And he said we could do two things. It's only like less than an inch over the other part. He said we can let it heal like that and it won't affect you. Or we could put a screw in there so it could heal back straight. And I was like, nah, I don't want surgery. So I waited I let it heal the whole season and then just got ready for basketball season. So that's the first time I ever played organized football. I broke my doggone collarbone the second day I ever played ever practiced football.
So when you finally got on the field in high school, what position you started out with? Was it tight end
So
or?
no, I was, tight, smaller school, bigger guys. You know how that is. They're gonna stick you on that line,
Oh
and
yeah.
they
Yeah.
put me at a defensive lineman, kind of a rush endish type thing, and then tackle. They put me at tackle, and I was like, I'm a skill guy. I'm just bigger. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm a skill guy. Catching footballs all my life. I
Yeah.
wanted to play tight end. Kellen Winslow Sr. was like, I don't know how I ended up like that. Two of my favorite players coming up was Marcus Allen and Kellen Winslow Sr. Random that a tight end was my favorite, one of my favorite guys, but he didn't play the game like a tight end. He was different.
Mhm.
Senior was different, right?
Oh yeah.
So I played, I'm not a diva. I played. I didn't want to play those positions I played. And the next year, I thought I was going to the NBA anyways. All I did was hoop. And my cousin is 6'6", right? My first cousin, Vernon Broughton. His son played at Texas this past year. And Vernon's 6'6". So I'm thinking I'm automatically gonna be 6'6". He's my first cousin. I'm gonna be like him, right? Mind you, his mom is my dad's sister, who is 3 inches taller than my dad. My aunt was like 6'4", and
Wow.
his dad was 6'6" or 6'7". My parents ain't that tall, but all I just knew because that was my dream. I wanted to go to the NBA. Michael Jordan was is and always will be my goat. Um, so I'm hooping all off season. I just want to hoop, get ready, and coach. And I told coach I wasn't playing football. I said I want to keep focused on my basketball game. I want to get a basketball scholarship. I want to hoop. And coach said, "Man, you got too many skills on the football field." And I said, "Coach, you got me playing offensive and defensive lineman, and that's not where I want to play." And I'm not brash enough or have an ego enough to give you an ultimatum. I'm a sophomore or junior in high school. I'm not telling coach I'm not coming out unless you let me play tight end. But he asked me why. And I said, Coach, you got me on the line. I think I'm a skill guy. I want to play tight end or and linebacker or defensive end. And he said, all right, Luther, if you put the basketball down, come to practice, or I'll give you a chance to play your position. He didn't say you. He said, I'll give you a chance to play your position. And I went out, and the rest is history. I went back out, played tight end. My senior year, everybody graduated who played quarterback, and I played quarterback my senior year, bro.
Wow.
My senior year, and
Mm.
of course, our high school, we had like 20 people on the team. I was a quarterback, linebacker, punter, kicker, kick
Dang.
returner, punt returner.
Everything.
I mean, I did everything, tiny high school. So, but you become like big fish in a small pond when scouts come to see you and you don't know any better. I didn't know any better. And all I wanted to do was hoop anyways, and that got me better at football. Working on your little
Yeah.
man skills, all those
Mhm.
skills. And I actually wasn't getting recruited heavily. I was 16 my senior year, fellas. Like I said, got promoted a grade. 16 my senior year. No one was recruiting me. No social media, no way. They didn't get instant information, no huddle, none of that stuff, right? And one day, my senior year, Um, I got a letter from Georgia finally, right? And they wanted me to come to their camp. And I was like, what? I had already signed with Furman, and I'll get back to the Furman story in a second. And I finally picked up the phone and called, and this, I guess you call it secretary, assistant, whatever. She answered, and I said, "Hey, you guys sent me a letter for camp, this, that, and the other." And I was like, "Why? Right? Is Georgia really trying to get me to sign with them? Like, I'm not good enough. I know I don't have any illusions of grandeur. I didn't. I'm 17." She said, "No, Luther, are you a 74 baby?" And I said, "Yes." She was like, "You guys are rising seniors. You had a good year. We've been hearing good things about you, and the coaches want to see you." And she said, matter of fact, she had spoken to someone from another school, maybe Clemson, Georgia Tech, whatever. And she said, yeah, because they all communicate. The secretaries, they communicate with each other. She's like, yeah, you're on a few lists. And I was like, I signed with Furman on signing day. I'm a senior. She said, you were 16 during the senior year. I said, yeah, I skipped a grade. And I wasn't highly recruited. But I'm going to tell you how I ended up getting a scholarship to Furman. Barely recruited. I had South Carolina State, A&T, which I wanted to go to A&T because my cousin was there and I wanted to be an engineer. Citadel, I wanted to leave home. I didn't want to go to the Citadel. Nothing against the Citadel. Well, actually, I went to Furman, so everything against the Citadel. They were our rivals, but nothing against the Citadel. I wanted to leave home. Uh, Air Force Academy. I was 16 and stupid and didn't take my visit because I didn't want to go that far. Take your visit, son. Um, but Macedonia High School, they were stacked, right? Smaller school, but again, they had Joe Hamilton, they had Cliff Dingle that went to Penn State. Of course, Courtney Brown, but he was younger than me. He was the number one overall pick in the draft.
Yep.
They had like 6 or 7 D1 guys on that small high schools, double A high school. Furman was recruiting their guys, and I remember, I'll never forget, Coach Morgan, Philip Morgan, I think is his name. He passed away probably like, I guess, like 10 years ago. I'll never forget. He asked the Furman guys, have you gone to see the kid at Canehoy? And the Furman coaches were like, Canehoy? We hadn't recruited a kid from there in years. It usually don't have we don't never ever have a lot of good tape or anything. He said, there's a kid there that nobody's recruiting that's one of the best players in the state. He's getting slept on. And he said, the reason I'm telling you guys to go there is I know you can't recruit a lot of my guys because of SAT scores. He said, kid's mom works at the school. He's already made a high SAT scores. I know he can get into Furman. Furman coaches said, it's basketball season. If you don't have any film, we can't see him play football. Coach Morgan said, I tell you what you need to do. And if you don't take a flyer on this kid, I don't know what I'm talking about. We play them in basketball on Tuesday. Come see him play then. And the Furman coaches said, matter of fact, they play at there this week while we're there. We're going to go see them play. Furman coaches come to our school. Mind you, my high school is a little black high school, right? I see 3 middle-aged to older white men at my school in purple shirts. And I'm thinking, those are basketball recruits, purple shirts. University of Washington? They coming to see me? I went absolutely off. I think I was like assist away from a triple-double. Like banging on people, shooting, guard, everything. Because all I was a hooper.
Oh yeah.
And the Furman coaches told this story, and it's true that I thought back on it when they told the story, and I didn't realize I was doing it at the time. After the game, I'm walking, after shaking hands, I'm walking towards these coaches. They're coming to talk to me. And as I get closer, I see Furman football on their shirts. And I showed all the disappointment on my face.
Wow.
Head down, everything. And you 17-year-old kid. I didn't realize I was doing it. The Furman coaches told this story, and like we had this banquet, and they were telling the story about how I wasn't even excited. And I laughed because it was true. I was a basketball junkie, and all I wanted to do is hoop. But after I got over that, I developed a relationship, and they did come to see me play the next week at Macedonia. Again, went off. They had this 6'5" dude, and he got a steal on a fast break and went to dunk on me, and I pinned his stuff. I
Yeah,
pinned it
on the
on the
backboard.
glass, and we came back down court, and I reversed down on somebody and tapped the glass, and they offered me that next week. They're like, we don't have any 6'2", 240, who's still chubby guy that can be that's as athletic as this kid. If he can't play
Athletic.
football, he can't play football. But he's an athlete, athletic enough for us to be able to develop him. Best thing that ever happened to me. Best
Wow.
thing that ever happened to me.
Wow.
If I went to
They
Clemson
took a
at that
chance.
time, which was my school, they barely recruited me. I would have been just another guy amongst a bunch of really good athletes, just like me, or better, or mostly better. Going to Furman, I was probably the best athlete on the team, but needed hell of a lot more developing, right? I
Okay.
needed oh, you went to Clemson. You know who my strength coach was at Furman?
Who was it?
Take one guess, bro.
Uh,
Clemson, bro.
Hold on. It been a minute, man.
Bro, Joey Batson was our strength coach.
Then
Joey Batson left my senior year. After my senior year, he went to Clemson, and he's been there ever
oh,
since.
I didn't. Yeah, I
Joey
didn't.
came there, and you know Joey.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah.
barely had a
Yeah, Coach
program.
Bassman. Mm-hmm.
He came in there and he said, Luther, I think you can play on Sundays. I'm like, whatever. I'm a nerd, bro. I'm gonna get my degree, and I'm going to grad
Get him
school.
out of here. Yeah.
Bro, he said you can play on Sunday. He said you are going to hate me, probably for 2 years, but at the end of it, you'll love me. He ain't lying.
That's him.
I don't know how many times I threw up
Oh
because
yeah.
he worked the dog
Yeah.
mess out of you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
He
he
gonna test
treated
you.
you like a man. He
Mhm.
tests you, but he didn't disrespect you. Respect you.
No.
He tested you and he pushed you as far as you can get. And when he knew you were at your limit, then he dialed it back. He would bring me in there on Wednesdays. It wasn't even workout time. He said, he was like, I see something in you. You're playing on Sundays.
Wow.
Bro, when I got drafted, I hand wrote. I did not type it. I didn't type it. I didn't write it. Ask somebody. Dude, I hand wrote that dude a letter.
Oh yeah.
Somebody I knew that
Shout
played
out, man.
there
Coach.
said, man, Coach Batson got a picture of you in his office. I said, Coach Batson turned me into a man. Listen, props to all my coaches because they pushed the heck out of me, right? Coach Batson, bro,
Yeah.
I was a machine.
Oh yeah,
I
man.
was dude. I dude, like I said, I was a basketball dude, and I walked on the Furman team. I could do anything on the court after being in the weight room with Joey. My
hmm
vertical was like 7 inches higher than it was. I could do any dunk, anything, bro.
Man,
And
yeah. hmm
dude, I at Furman at 250 something, I was running low 4.6s, easy low 4.6s, and I was sub 4.6 just a few times, but and I was huge. Like for coach, he turned me into a man, bro. That's how I
Hey,
ended up in the
hey,
NFL.
he's still at Clemson, man. So
He's
he's
still,
doing
dude.
something right.
I see him all the time.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
see him. One of my teammates was the 5-star linebacker that signed there, Sammy Brown.
Okay.
Sammy's dad played with me, and Sammy's like Sammy. Mike is his dad. Mike said, "Man, Sammy called me one day and said, man, Coach Batson's workouts are just like yours, Dad." And he said he busted out laughing, and he said, "Son, all my workouts are the workouts that I got from Coach Batson when I was at Furman."
Oh yeah, man. Hey, he give you a book about this thick, man.
Dude, he give you a book about this thick.
Tell you.
And yo, you working that thing in the off season. I'm like, why is bro? When I got to the NFL and we do their conditioning program and off season
It was
program,
easy.
I was laughing. Coach was like, man, you are in great
Dude.
shape. I'm like, dude, we're doing like 10. What is this half field call? Was it suicide? That wasn't suicide. Half
Yeah.
gassers. We
Yeah,
would do
have
like,
gas. Yeah.
bro,
Mhm.
we did 18 110s with Joey Batson.
Shoot, man. Like
18
20.
110s. He
Mm-hmm.
bumped probably
Yeah.
I figured he probably bumped
Yeah,
up
yeah. Yeah, about 20 with
18
that.
110s. And guess what he said? He said, Luther, you're not running with the tight ends and linebackers. I said, I said, I get to run with the linemen. He said,
Running
Luther.
backs,
He said, Luther,
DBs.
you are running with the DBs.
Yep.
And he was like, dude, I don't want to hear any excuses from you. You're running with the DBs.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran with the DBs. And I made my time with the DBs. So when I got to the NFL, I was like, the conditioning test ain't nothing, bro.
Nothing, man.
No,
Yeah.
I mean the skill level of the ball players, nuts, but
Yeah.
that was
It,
nothing, bro.
Yeah, but Batson,
Yeah,
man, he had us running the Clemson stadiums, man, pulling trucks. It
pull it.
just
Oh, bro.
holy
And so funny
see
story,
that?
and Coach Basson will tell you he didn't laugh that much. He laughed
No.
at me. I'm afraid of heights, and he thought I was trying to get out of doing the stadium steps, and he saw that I was terrified. Bro, I was terrified because I'm afraid of heights. And I get anxiety and I'm running up there and I'm like on the edge so I can hold on, but I can see down. And then he had one of the other captains. He was like, go run with Lou. And he pushed me. He said, Lou, run in the middle. And I ran. I ran. He said, from now on, you got to run in the middle. And he looked at me and started laughing. I was like, I looked at him because Joey don't joke around during that time training. And he said, "Man, I cannot believe you're afraid of these little stairs at Furman because our stadium it ain't that big." I was
Yeah,
like,
man.
"Man,
Well, you
how?"
better.
And dudes were clowning me, man. I was like, "Coach, I'm not lazy." Matter of fact, I volunteered to do the worst, the dog roll on the it was like the 50-yard
Oh
army
yeah.
crawl.
Mm-hmm.
I volunteered to do those instead. He said, if you're volunteering to do those, you're afraid of heights. He said, we're
Yeah.
going to get you over this fear. But he turned me into a man, bro. No
Oh yeah.
doubt.
Man.
that's
I
what's up.
still
Yeah.
talk to him, man.
Your first year at Furman, man, did you play right away or
Mm-mm,
yeah?
mm-mm.
Okay.
I was still a baby. I got there, 17 years old. I still had my eyes on basketball because when I signed, I asked them if I could hoop, and they were like, "Yes, of course." They say yes, right? So I'm still learning. I'm still kind of chubby. You know what I'm saying? I was like an athlete. Not I didn't lift a lot. We didn't do a lot of lifting in high school. I just played.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as football season ended, I put on sneakers and I hooped all the way almost until football season came. I did my sprint and stuff
Kept you in
and
shape.
hooped, and we got to Furman, and we didn't have a huge strength program until Coach Basson got there my sophomore year. Luckiest thing in the world. He was in between jobs. He's from the area. He took the Furman job for 3 years, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Didn't play a lot my freshman year. I didn't play at all. I redshirted.
Okay.
My redshirt freshman year didn't play a lot. Freshman year, I started to get on the field, and the coaches were like, so they had me at linebacker. And our coach was our defense coordinator was Bobby Johnson, and Bobby got hired as Clemson's defensive coordinator. And before he left, he said, "You guys," I was playing outside linebacker, rushing the passer a lot. He said, "You guys need to get him off of one side of the ball. He's too good. Put him at linebacker and let him play." Spring practice, I hurt my knee, and I was a fish out of water because I wasn't a good linebacker. I wasn't instinctive at linebacker. I would run and chase the play down. Wasn't really instinctive. I would slow on the reads from the guards, this, that, and the other. I'd make the play, but instead of making a tackle for a loss, I made it at 2 yards, right? And coach was like, man, he's just so much better with the ball in his hands. When I got back to camp that offseason, I had surgery on my knee. I had it scoped because I got hit right on the side of my knee during spring practice. When I came back, they had an 80 something in my locker. They said, you playing tight end. And after that, they were like, "Oh, this is the best. This is the move." Because I was good at tight end. I could run, catch routes. I mean, God gave me
Yeah.
these things for a reason, and worked out. I
For
didn't
sure.
argue that move. I was like, "Cool. I want to play offense anyways." And that year, I started to get some time. And the guy who was the starter, I still talk to him to this day. He said, I might as well teach you how to do this thing now because you're gonna take my job before the end of the season. That's what he said, like mid-season, and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Dude, you're better than me already. You're too good at this. You shouldn't even be here." I didn't realize you know I didn't have I wish I had a bigger ego. I probably would have been better. I didn't realize how good I was at certain things, right? Especially at football, at tight end, because my cousins were all so good and better than me. I was just doing what I did.
Oh
I
yeah.
was doing what any of my cousins could do. I'm like, that ain't nothing. Oh, you could dunk? You could do that dunk? I could do that, but not as good as my cousin. Oh, you could you run a four you I can run a 4.6. My cousin, who's a freak, who's 250, he runs a 4.4. You know what I'm saying? It was like I got a freak of a family, bro. Freak of
Wow.
a family. My family of a family of freaks. And that's why, because I wasn't better than them. I was just one of them, and I didn't realize how good I was compared to just a regular athlete. Because I would get on the basketball court and I did what I did, but if I didn't do what I did, I wouldn't play. You know how pickup is. You lose and you sit on the sideline for five. Dude, if I didn't play like that with my cousins, we would lose and we wouldn't be back out there. So it was just part of what I did. It was natural, and that's what the coaches were like. Man, you're a natural. We got, and you don't have bad habits because you didn't play a lot at this position. We're gonna get you there. And I was coachable because I didn't think knew it all. I didn't think I was all that great. So I was like, all right, whatever what you said, you know. So man,
So,
it's the
so
journey is crazy, man.
who was the competition when you was at Furman? Did y'all have Georgia Southern
Yeah.
and Appalachian
So we,
State?
we were stacked now. You know, Georgia Southern, App State, Marshall, bro. My senior year, you
Oh
know
yeah,
who beat
Randy
us in the
Moss.
playoffs?
Randy
Randy freaking
Moss.
Moss. Randy was a freshman. And guess who their quarterback was? Chad Pennington was the quarterback.
Oh yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
Marshall was stacked even before Randy got there. And then App State, that's when they had Dexter um Dex from Mount from Wando, Dexter Coakley.
Coakley, yeah.
Oh, Dex was there. Matt Stevens. They had a corner, and it was crazy. You know, they talk about Cooper DeJean being a white cat playing corner.
Yeah.
Matt Stevens was going to be a first round pick corner out of a Division I AA school. He tore his ACL in the playoffs. Still was a third round pick playing corner from a D1 AA school. That school was so stacked that they had a couple kids that left early. Cats didn't leave early from D1 AA at the time, which is with FCS subdivision now.
Yeah.
So it was Marshall, App State, Tennessee Chattanooga. T.O. was there. We had T.O. and
Oh,
Randy Moss in our conference at the same time. Then we
Wow.
had Jermaine Wiggins playing tight end who won Super Bowls. I was one of the tight ends. We had Chad Pennington over there at quarterback. We had another pro quarter. The kid from who got drafted by the Jags. Leftwich. He
Leftwich.
was he was he
oh,
was
okay,
was
yeah.
younger than me,
Quarterback.
but he
He was
was
right
at
after
he was
Pitt.
at Marshall. He was at
Yep.
after Chad,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah,
and
but
then the Citadel, they started getting back good again. They had Travis Jervey was there at the time. They had a few other guys. Western Carolina had those receivers. Couple played in the league. One played for the Giants. Who else? We had UTC. We had a couple schools in Tennessee. Oh, Western Carolina. They had Brad Hoover, couple tight end. What's Big Dog's name? Actually lives here. Man, that conference was stacked. It was the best D1 AA conference around. It was stacked,
Randall.
and a lot of competition there, man.
Was Adrian Peterson playing then in
He was
Georgia?
younger than me. He was younger than me. He was he was a freshman right after I left.
Okay.
And him, but what's crazy is, you know, he won the equivalent of the Walter Payton Award, which was the D1 AA Heisman,
Yeah.
but he didn't win it 3 straight years. Cat from Furman won it in between. Lewis Ivory.
Uh,
What? Man, that dude was getting 300, man, and we lost the championship because he hurt his knee in the playoffs.
damn.
Hell, we beat Chapel Hill right after I left. Those boys were stacked,
Whoa.
man, with peppers. We went in Chapel Hill and ran them up out of there. Yeah.
Wow. That's
hmm
dope. So you go to the NFL Combine. What you didn't do that?
Man, I'm telling you, man, I didn't have that easy ride. It was same as getting recruited. Furman didn't have a player drafted in 13, 14 years. They didn't think we had anybody at Furman. And I'll tell you a crazy story is my freshman year, we had this defensive end that was getting scouted, right? And I'm in practice fooling around. At the end of practice, it was near the end with seniors out there. We'd be out there fooling around with the seniors. I'm a freshman. I'm on the look team and all that stuff. We would mess around and I'd play corner after practice. And I'm out there playing corner, covering people, hips
Yeah,
moving and all
backpedaling,
that stuff, backpedaling, catching the ball. And another thing I would do is I used to palm my helmet. I would drop it and catch it just like
Darn.
that.
Come on, man.
Again, it's just something I did. Bruh, 4.5 years later, a scout comes to see me. And he sits down and talks to me. And his name is Jim Gruden, John Gruden's dad.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Luther, I saw you about 4.5 years ago. You were a little, no facial hair freshman. He said, I saw you out on that field like a fish. He was like, you were like already big fish in a small pond in terms of athleticism. He said, I wrote notes on you and I took it back and I reminded myself to go see that kid in about 3 years. And he said he told
Wow.
some of his colleagues about me. He said, long arm, he's like, not that tall, don't know what position they're gonna put it at. Long arms, long legs, huge hands, can move, really athletic. Chance to play on Sundays, we'll see how he develops. And he came back and he said, you're going to play on Sundays. He's like, but he said, no one knows about you. He's like, not that many people know about you. He said, we're not going to draft you because they had Greg Clark at the time. I think it was Greg. No, I think they drafted Greg Clark. They had Brent Jones at the time, and Brent was getting old. He said, we need a first round tight end. He said, we're going to draft a guy in the top 45 picks. And you're not going to get drafted that high. He said, I don't think we're drafting two guys. He said, but I'll try to put your name out. And of course, he told his son, who was in Philly. And that's why Philly came to see me. Because Jim told him he should probably come work the kid out at Furman. And same thing, I had a scout from the Ravens come. Uh, and he said, bro, nobody knows about you. He's like, you're like a secret. He's like, I could be selfish and wait for you to get undrafted, go undrafted, and we'll sign you right after the draft. He said, but what you need to do, he's like, he asked me how many workouts I had. I said two. I said one. I said, you're my only one this fall. He said, you got a good relationship with your coaches? I said, yeah. He said, go ask Coach Johnson for access to the film room and all your film. Make a highlight tape. You have an agent already? I said, yeah. He said, have your agent mass produce the tape and get it to all 31 teams. I did that, and I had 13 workouts by the next
Damn, man. I should have
10
did that.
days. That's how I didn't get invited to the combine. And then I had a couple scouts that came in and said, bro, I'm sorry, but you're gonna miss out on some money because you would have blown it away at the combines. Your numbers would have blown it away for the tight ends. He said your short shuttle drill beat half of the DB times and this and that and the other. And I was like, man, I was happy because I was like, this sounded like I could possibly get drafted. But after I thought about it, I was like, man, kind of got screwed here in this whole thing. But I mean, it all happens for a reason because
Yeah.
I ended up at Philly and I made it.
Oh
I
yeah.
made Philly as a fourth tight end. Teams don't keep four tight ends. I made it as a fourth tight end. I ended up at Furman after not being highly recruited. You know, maybe I would have gone someplace and gone unnoticed, or maybe I just would have not gone and did what I wanted to do all along and walk on and play basketball. Dude, as much as I'm a Clemson fan, South Carolina had a pharmacy program and I thought I wanted to be a pharmacist. I was just going to walk onto their basketball team and go into their PharmD program. And I was like, I could have a doctor's of pharmacy in 6.5 to 7 years. I'm going to do that. Oh, that I could have had a completely different life. I mean,
Oh
I would have
yeah.
been happy, but I won't change it. I don't want to change it. It worked out the way it worked out. And
Hey,
I got
talk about your first start with the Philadelphia Eagles.
yeah.
my first start actually was in Carolina.
Oh,
So in
Carolina.
Philadelphia, I spent the whole year there. Well, I spent about 8 games on the roster. God, I got another crazy story. So I'm on the roster, and we played the Niners, and I didn't travel. Ray Rose was like, "Man, you don't need to travel. You know you're not playing. You guys know how it works. It's 53-man roster and only 48 dress or whatever." So he was like, "Man, we got 4 tight ends. You don't need you're not gonna travel this week. You're not dressing. Blah blah blah." He was like, "Man." And Ray Rose was a jokester. He's like, "I know you don't have any women up here in Philly." He said, "Get on a flight and go home and either visit your parents or go back to Furman and hook up with your college girl or something." He was teasing me, right? I said, "As a matter of fact, coach, I'm going. That's what I'm going to do." I hopped on a flight and I went to Greenville. We played the 49ers. That weekend, we got 3 offensive linemen hurt. Now, you know what happens when when you get that many people hurt. You got to create a roster spot. If they're
Yeah.
not they weren't hurt bad enough to go on IR. So that means they got to stay on the roster and they got to create a roster spot. And you know who the first person going to get cut? That fourth tight end who ain't playing. But here's what happened when I went to Furman. 2 teams were really interested in drafting me in the 5th round. 3 teams, but 2 of them were the Eagles and the Panthers. So I go to Furman and I go to practice, and a scout is there, and he looks over at me, and like he recognizes me, and he walks over and he's like, "Luther, Chris Polian." I said, "Chris, I remember you. You know, Bill Polian's son. He worked for the Panthers." He said, "Man, I've been scouring the waiver wire. We've been waiting for the Eagles to cut you so we could pick you up." He's like, "What are you doing here? I thought you were on the roster." I said, "Yeah, I'm on the roster, but I didn't travel with the team. Uh, so that's why I'm here." And he's like, "Oh," he's like, "Man, I thought I had messed up." Because he was like, "If you get," he's like, "If something happens, we're going to sign you. We want to draft you in the 5th round. The Eagles got you right before we pick." This is Monday. Yeah, of course, Monday or Tuesday. The first day, no, Monday, because we got Tuesday's a walkthrough. No, Tuesday's the league day off. So Monday I didn't have to be there because Ray told me I didn't have to be back until Wednesday meetings. So I'm getting back till Tuesday meetings. I'm headed to the airport. Y'all know we ain't got no doggone cell phones. I got a beeper. I get a beeper and it's 215 and 338. And I know I think it was 338. I know those are the first 6 digits of the Philadelphia Eagles exchange. And I'm like, who is calling me from the Eagles? It was my position coach. And he was asking me where I was. And I said, "Coach, what's up, man?" And I said, "I know we got a bunch of people hurt." He's like, "Yeah, man, are you around?" I said, "No, I'm in Greenville. I headed to the airport." He said, "When you get back in town, come see me. I'm gonna be at the office." And it's like already 7 o'clock. I said, "Juan, what's up, man? Tell me what's going on." And you know that they don't want the coaches to deliver this information. They want the GM to talk to you. I said, "Juan, between me and you, just let me know before I get on this plane." He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna release you, but as soon as you clear the waiver wire, we'll sign you back to the practice squad." I just walked away from the Panther guy telling me he was watching the waiver wire waiting for me to get cut. I get back to Philly. I got cut. I clear waivers. The Panthers called my agent like that night and they said, look, we got to create a roster spot. We don't have a roster spot yet. Give us a couple of weeks. We're bringing him home. And they ended up calling in a couple of weeks and said we'll make an offer to elevate him to our full roster, and we're going to give him a signing bonus for him to recoup the money he lost the past 2 weeks being on the practice squad. Now, I'm in Philly, and at this point, I mentioned a good Gruden story about his dad. I hated John Gruden. He treated me like ish.
Yeah.
Bro, when I got there, I went to tell my position coach that the Panthers call. This is like 2 weeks later. The Panthers call, and I'm leaving. I'm gonna accept their offers because I mean it's a difference of a lot of money to be on the practice squad and the roster. And he was like, "No, let me talk to Ray Rose and Larry. We're gonna create a roster spot for you." I wanted to leave because of Gruden. So I'm gonna try to diagram this. So when you're in Philly, you're at the vet, right? So let's say the parking lot is here. The door to the locker room is here, right? The coach's office are here. The door to the building is here. The coach's office is here. The locker room is here. The only way I could get there is going past the locker room. We're at the stadium. Bro, and Juan wanted to see me, so he was going to stop me. Bro, I went in, I passed their office to go to the locker because I had my Game Boy and my cleats and a couple other things, and then my Walkman. In order for me to get back to my car, all I had to do is walk back right here. You know what I did to avoid him so I could leave and get away from John Gruden? I ran all the way around the entire stadium. Ran. Hopped in my car, went back to my apartment, and hopped on the plane and went to Carolina because I wanted to get away from John Gruden. And he got hired as the Raiders coach that next offseason. He treated me, that's how bad that dude talked to me,
Wow.
man. He treated me so bad.
Well, I got some highlights I want to show the fans, man. For
Yeah.
everybody that's watching, make sure you
Yeah.
subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Hit that notification button. We got former Philadelphia Eagle and Carolina Panther tight end, Luther Broughton, all right? Hey, Luther, I don't own any rights to the clips or the music in it, so don't sue me for that. Go ahead and get into this clip, all right?
Let's go.
Stay with me.
Where Steve Berline has to be very careful. They're in the end of this game. They have a chance to win this game. He can't turn it over. He's got to make the big play.
2nd and 10. Berline back. Berline throws. Luther Broughton makes the pitch. Broughton into the end zone. 68 yards.
What a great stiff arm by Broughton. What a heads-up play. That's the big play Steve Berline needed to make. Even Jerry Richardson's clapping now. Before it was just his wife. And now Richardson's getting into the clapping.
Luther Broughton's first NFL touchdown. He's a former college basketball player at Furman University. Casey adds the extra point, and the Panthers take the lead with 2:44 remaining.
What a smart play by Luther Broughton. This is a guy in the heat of the battle trying to make a winning play that uses his brains. Because he knows he can't outrun Roman Pfeiffer, but he can't stiff arm him. Look at this right here. Now watch what he does. Watch him turn. Look at that. He turns, he uses the stiff arm to fend off Pfeiffer before he goes for the end zone. If he just turns and tries to run straight for pay dirt, Pfeiffer brings him down from behind. But Broughton stops, thinks about it, gives him the stiff arm, and that's what gets him into the end zone. Nice throw here by Steve Berline. Watch this play. Look at this. See him stop? That's just smart. That is so smart.
With Pro Bowler Wesley Walls out this week, Broughton was asked about making the start, and he said, I'm not under contract for next year. It's a big chance for me.
That was a big play. That tells you that this guy is playing with his head.
Longest completion of the season by Berline. The first touchdown of Luther Broughton's 2-year career. Spent part of last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. 68 yards from Berline to Broughton. 17-13 Panthers.
That was a big play.
That was huge. You know what's funny?
What's that?
As a huge Eagles fan, you know who the defensive coordinator was for that Carolina Panthers team?
Was it Don Capers?
Don was the head coach.
Oh,
The defensive coordinator on that team, Vic Fangio.
what?
Vic was our defensive coordinator at the Panthers.
Dang,
Wow.
That's how long Vic's been doing that thing.
real.
Vic was our defensive coordinator.
Yep.
Yep.
So you end up going to Carolina, and then you end up going back to Philly.
So I went to Carolina on, they poached me from the practice squad. After that season right there, they fired Dom.
Yep.
And they hired George Seifert. Was it that season? Yeah, it was that season. And then in Philly, they fired Ray Rose and hired Andy Reid.
Reid.
When Andy got there, they traded back for me. Andy and they had Tom Modrak was the GM and Mike McCartney was one of the guys on helping with the GM. They traded back for me. And then when I was an unrestricted free agent 2 years later, I signed back with the Carolina Panthers. Only 2 teams were interested in me that year, and I only got an offer from one. The Carolina Panthers, who went 1-15. I was on the first 1-15 team, and guess who was the other team?
Let's see.
I don't know.
Was it Jaguars?
The Patriots.
Patriots?
The first of the Super Bowls.
Dang.
So it was between the 1-15 team and the start of a dynasty. But I didn't get an offer from New England. But those are the only 2 teams that called my agent. I wish they offered. I would have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
mm-hmm.
When you go back to Philly, you hook back up with McNabb. You got Troy Vincent in the locker room, Bobby
Brian
Taylor.
Dawkins.
You know what I'm saying? I got Westbrook. He's running back.
Westbrook wasn't there. Our running backs when I was in Philly was Ricky Waters, Deuce Staley, Eric Bieniemy,
There you go.
and Charlie Garner.
That's
Donovan, that was my guy. I played with Doug Peterson as well, who coached him to the Super Bowl. But Donovan, that was my dog. Bobby. I hooped. So Bobby and Donovan, they both hooped in college.
exactly.
So those 2 of the guys I hooped with. We would go hoop. Me, Donovan, Ike Reese would hoop. Crazy big Hollis would hoop with us. So those are my guys I hooped with. Troy Vincent was like the big brother, man.
Yeah.
Troy's always the adult in the room, and he'd look out for you. He'd talk to you about, Lou, what's up? What's going on? Yeah, you gotta be careful with this, or you gotta get more sleep, or get in that ice tub, or it's not that. He's like, look, I'm married. I'm home chilling. You young and you're single. It's okay to go hang out, but don't do it in excess. He was that type of guy. Not talk down to you, but treat you like a big brother. That was Troy. A lot of love for Troy.
What's his position he hold now with the NFL? NFL player.
He's a VP of something.
VP of player.
Of course, one of my other teammates works for the NFL as well, John Runyon. He's over discipline and whatnot. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got some more highlights from Philly. Man. You lit it up this year. You guys played the Redskins.
Redskins, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead.
You got off that game, man.
I don't own the rights to this video. We got
nuts,
former Eagle tight end Luther Broughton.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Stay with
Came
me.
down to the field goal.
Donovan went on.
On to the NFC East, where Dallas has won on Thanksgiving. Washington lost to Andy Reid's Eagles 2 weeks ago. The Skins begin today a half a game in front in first place. And look at this. Doink, doink, doink. Off the body of Steven Alexander. It's a routine Brad Johnson and Mike Sellers touchdown pass, right? 10-0 Skins. Donovan McNabb on 4th and 1 in the third quarter, down 17-3, gets a first down. The swing to Deuce Staley on a 4th and 3 for a first down. 3rd and 1 from the Redskins 3. McNabb rolling to Luther Broughton, 17-10, an 18-play, 91-yard drive for the Eagles, and the stop by Broughton brings them to within a touchdown, 17-10. 2 possessions later, under 5 minutes to go. McNabb looking to make this play for a 27-yard gain. 3rd and 6. McNabb, he's feeling it, Tom. He looks for Broughton.
But you can see him getting more comfortable in the pocket as well as learning when to use that athleticism that he has.
3 plays later on 3rd and 2. Complete to Broughton. He bent Darrell Green's face mask. Another 91-yard drive, and we're tied at 17. Boy, what a change we've seen in the Eagles. You can see them grow up overnight. On the ensuing kick by David Greenacres, he looks more like Ava Gabor with that kick. He kicks it to Brian Mitchell, only to the 20. Are you kidding me? He goes all the way to the 35. Next play from scrimmage. Mitchell, 14 yards. We're past the 2-minute warning. 5 seconds left. Brett Conway for the win. Look at the fans. Yeah, we're good. Oh, he missed. He was Tim Conway. No good. 28 yards. We're going to overtime. But the Skins win the toss. This time the kick is to James Thrash. Special teams killed the Eagles.
Well, they didn't learn very much in that period between regulation and
It's
overtime.
awful. First play from scrimmage on a big return by Thrash. Play action, Brad Johnson to Albert Connell. 20 yards inside the 30. The Eagles on 3rd down. Oh, my goodness, it's a bunt. That's why you try it on 3rd down. If you don't attempt the kick and you recover the fumble, you get to try kick on 4th down. Brett Conway, good. The Eagles did everything they came back, but they just handed the game back to the Skins in overtime. Redskins win it 20-17. But, hey, Washington now back in control, 7-4 in the division.
And Donovan McNabb getting better, as we said.
3 receptions, 38 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Touchdowns, man.
I had
Hey.
a good game that game.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Now, all
game.
you needed was the win.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we that was Donovan's rookie year. Yeah, that was rookie year. He was starting to get heated. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
man, that thing seems like yesterday.
Yeah, man.
Man.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So you went to the Bears for a little bit, right? Chicago?
I went to the Bears for a cup of coffee. I got cut before the season started, so you won't you won't see any Bears highlights.
I feel you, right?
Yeah, no Bears highlight. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, we'll talk about life after football then, man. You know, talk about that.
Life after football, man. It was the transition can be tough because you're used to playing organized sports from age 12, 13.
Oh,
And then
man.
you start doing it for a living, right?
Yeah.
And it's you do it for a living, big stakes. You get and you're getting paid. I mean, you're freaking getting paid to play sports, and then it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Finished.
You have no access. You can't go to the locker room and hang out with your teammates. You're not in the locker room every day and just doing normal stuff. And then you got to move on and live your life. And it's a hell of a transition.
Yeah.
Because you're still basically young yet. I was and then I was like going through a divorce and all that stuff. And finally I ended up moving back. I actually decided I was done, and then I started looking for a job. And it's crazy because you go to college and you do this, that, and the other, and then you play football, and you've got this big gap in your resume because it's like graduate from college and then nothing. This isn't the typical job. And so I remember getting a call one day from a mortgage company, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I actually took the interview, took the job. and I've been in the mortgage industry ever since. I worked at PHH Mortgage in Jersey. I ended up moving back home, uh, working for one of my old teammates at Furman. He started a mortgage company. I did some outside sales, and I ended up at Quicken Rocket Mortgage,
All
and
right.
I've been there for 12 years. This
Okay.
is the longest job I ever had, actually.
Sure.
And I enjoy it. Like it's not work anymore because it's like it's old hat. I know what I'm doing. It's like the back of my hand. Went through a divorce. 21-year-old. My daughter's 21. Got remarried. My son's 11, and I brainwashed him. He's a Clemson and Eagles junkie. So he's been wearing. Well, he wears his stuff, but the past few days in school, he's like wearing his stuff. He makes sure he's like I'm absolutely riding the bus because I'm wearing my stuff and I'm talking.
All right.
And
All right.
so we good in it. We're crazy Eagles fan in this house, man. So it's good stuff, man. It's
Let's
good
get some
stuff.
time to our viewers, man. We had a lot of people chime in while we was in conversation.
Yeah.
Richardson said Huger. She's shouting out the hometown.
Hometown, Hugie, baby. You
got-
gotta say it. You gotta say it like
Hugie.
you French.
Hugie.
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 French, baby. Come on,
That's
man.
French, baby.
Rico Cannon to last night's
Rico, what's up, man?
Rico Furman, baby.
Yep.
Oh,
Say
yeah.
for love, bro. We
What's up,
never
Rico?
but you gave me the motivation. Salute. Chuck Town in the house.
Chucktown, baby.
All right. Troy Richardson says
Another
that
cousin.
Cane Boy legend.
Kane Hoy, that's my high
Kane
school.
Hoy.
So my last name is Broughton. You see these Richardsons. That's my dad. But my
Okay.
grandma, my grandma is Richardson.
Okay.
So those are all my cousins.
All right. Alan Williams.
Alan Williams.
What's up, bro?
What's up, Al? What's up, man?
Al? What's up, Al?
He said, great story, Carolina.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Real
That's,
brother. Big
that's
bro.
my brother. So my brother played at Oklahoma State. He was a
So big
JUCO
bro.
All-American and went to Oklahoma State and played. That's my youngest brother.
Oh,
Right.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Mommy said something about that pharmacist thing when I was in college.
Yeah,
He said
I
laugh
wanted
out
to be a
loud. I figured
pharmacist.
that was the clip. Laugh out loud. And then he said Broughton Shuffle. You did the Broughton Shuffle.
Man, that dance will haunt
Oh,
me
yeah,
the
man.
rest
You
of my
did it.
life.
So
Vince,
proud of you.
that's so that's one of my older cousins right there. When I say like athletes who like
Yeah.
Vince was a
Yeah,
guy
man.
like older. Vince is probably like 8 years older. I've seen Vince throw a football from the 20-yard line to the goal line, and we thought,
Wow.
okay, that's normal because one of our cousins could do it. Coach
Yeah.
Dixon. No, that was one of my tight ends coach in college. Coach
Oh.
Dixon coached me 1 year. My junior year, Coach Dixon was my tight ends coach, and he won a championship at Furman. So that's my guy right there, man.
All right.
What's
All
up,
right.
Coach Dix?
Your brother said you broke Dal Green's face mask too.
But guess who broke my face mask? Jesse Tuttle.
Whoa.
From the Falcons?
Man, and what I didn't even realize his son was Grady Jarrett.
For
Yo,
real?
I ain't
we
know that
play-
either.
That's
From
his son.
Clemson.
Yes. Yo,
Whoa.
we were playing that. So speaking of my first year playing was in Carolina. We played the Falcons, and it's a blocking play, and it broke to the sideline, and I go to block Jesse Tuttle, and hell, he's about 5'10" anyways. Man, that dude hit me so hard. Like I wasn't hurt or anything, but you know how it is, that impact.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, these are grown ass men out here.
You had,
And,
hey,
you know,
you had a concussion?
No, I was
Oh.
standing on the sideline waiting to go back in, and the equipment dude was like, Lou, come here. He was like, man, Tuggle just broke your helmet. I said, Tuggle. He said, Tuggle broke your face mask. Yo, he had to take my face mask off and grab one out the box and put me a new one in there. He broke it.
All right.
Yeah.
Man.
Great interview. Whatever is
What's
in
up,
that
Kenny?
cup. Well, he said whatever's in that cup got you loose. Left out.
For
It's
sure,
bourbon, man. I'm gonna tell you what got me loose. The Eagles winning the Super Bowl. I'm on a natural high,
Hey,
bro.
Hey
I
man,
feel
yeah.
you.
Hey, talk about that. Your thoughts about the Super Bowl, man. You know, a little bit.
Oh man. So
I
listen,
know they can go on, but
this
just
could go on,
briefly.
but I'll be real quick.
Yeah.
I was demoralized after last year. We lost in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs 2 years ago. A tough loss. That holding call that I didn't think was the greatest call. Jalen had a tough fumble when we were getting ready to go up big. But we were like, we'll be back, right? So last year we started out 10-1, and I was like, man, we winning a lot of close games. I hope this isn't fool's gold. And we fell apart.
Yep.
Coming into the season, we started 2-2. I was at the Falcons game when Saquon had the tough drop, and we could have won the game. And then the stuff with Sirianni like yelling at fans, and I was like, we're done, we're cooked, we're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then and what we needed apparently was the bye week, and after the bye week, we went that way.
That's right, man.
That's
Straight
it.
up.
And going into the Super Bowl, you always respect the winners, right?
Yes.
I was a little wary of Mahomes because he finds a way. And Andy's a great coach, but I thought we were the better team.
Yeah.
You look up and down that lineup. I thought we were the better team.
Yep.
I know the score was an 18-point win, but that was a 20-something point.
It was.
That was a blowout.
It was-
I don't even say I don't know. People gonna say I knew it. Man, there's no way I thought we were gonna win that game by
Nah.
multiple scores.
Nah.
I thought we'd win a close game because I thought we were the better team,
Yep.
and the other team has the great equalizer.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But we dominated them in every sense of the
Every
word. We
phrase, every
bro,
game. Mhm.
bro. I have not been able to sleep because I've been too busy on my phone scroll every single highlight, every little thing, every little meme. I'm scrolling. Bro, maybe I'll get some sleep tonight. But
Yes,
well, I
sir.
better get some sleep because I fly to Philly tomorrow. I'm going to the parade. So
Oh, word, man.
which
Yeah.
last time it was a good time because they invited the alumni back and they give us a good spot to spend time before the
Yeah.
parade, and then they put
Sure.
us on the front, right? Like on the
All
front,
right.
like when they're speaking and all that. So it should be a good time, man. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be
most
cold. So
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I
Yeah.
don't care if Kenny, I'll have a little bit of
Hey,
this
yeah,
in
drink
me.
some of that. That'll warm me up.
They'll warm me up.
Luther,
So
your brother
brother
said
asked,
who's
Who's
the best athlete out of your little brothers?
probably Reggie. I have a younger brother that went to Tennessee, Chattanooga as well. He transferred to Johnson C. Smith.
Okay.
And Reggie played safety and running back, but he wasn't he didn't grow to my height. Reggie's like 5'10", 5'11", but Reggie's like 40-something inch vertical.
Yeah.
Wow.
And bangs on any and everybody. All my brothers athletes, right? But if you're gonna ask me to choose, it's probably Reggie. But Scott, like they all my brothers are athletic as hell. But the thing about it is, like Scott is younger than me, so I didn't play with him enough to be on the court with him to know exactly what. But Scott is athletic and can ball. But Reggie is like Reggie played 1 year with me in basketball, so I know what he can do. I've come down court, get somebody at half court, and see him running down the right sideline and just throw it.
He go get
And
it.
I know he's gonna go get it. So it's crazy.
Me and KJ used to run the rec floor at Clemson. We went 5-0.
Really,
Tell him, KJ.
man. I
Oh, yeah,
lost
man,
the
that's a
I
good time.
lost the rec
Yeah.
championship at Furman. Man, we played this frat. And they had their little team stacked, man. Bunch of shooters, man.
So it said Harold Lincoln said, "Fantastic interview. I'm so proud.
What's
This
up, Link?
someone I've known since childhood. Remain grounded. You've
So, man.
always been a great help to people in the community."
Man,
Appreciate you, man.
good word.
Wait,
man.
wait, you wait, hold on.
The Eagles have the best roster in the league. Chiefs roster is mid outside of a few players, but how good coaching? And it says when the coaching is about even, talent will win out.
I mean, what he said, the last thing I felt was true. I don't know if I don't believe that the Chiefs were mid, though. I believe the Chiefs' offensive line was mid because they
Yeah.
had to shuffle. They did a double shuffle, and KJ, that'll kill your offensive line. They moved
Better
their
believe
guard out the tackle.
it. Better
So
believe
that
it.
means they had to move somebody else to that guard position.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go against arguably the best D line the deepest D line in football,
Man,
who
for
got
real.
fresh dudes out there,
They
you're gonna
come.
get murdered. But I don't know who that was, but he makes a good point. Hey, what's up, sis? That's
Nails
my sister.
further invest. I don't know who that was. Said Tyrell, your brother said I knew you was going to say Reggie.
I mean, he know I'm not exaggerating,
He said I played with who Shard Lou when I was like 14, 15, laugh out loud. He was with the Panthers.
but not a lot, Scott. I was with the Panthers. Like when me and Reggie played, we played all the time together.
Oh
So
yeah.
it was more like Scott had crazy athleticism. I just don't know if he had the springs like Reggie.
Oh, that's Logan.
Oh,
What's up?
that's Logan.
Oh,
What's
what's
up,
up,
dude?
man? What's up? What's up?
Man, it's a
Oh,
small world. So Logan works, who's everybody's listening. Logan works with my man, and I randomly met Logan last year at the SEC Women's Tournament.
oh.
I bought a single seat, and he ended up sitting by me, and we chopped it up the entire game. Good talk, man.
For
Good
sure.
talk the entire game. Because sometimes you sit with people and it's like, oh my God. First off, this person doesn't know basketball. What is this person talking about?
Talking about. Yeah.
Or they could be funny. They could be funny or
Yeah.
obnoxious. But me and Lo, we chopped it up the whole game. It was good talk, man. Small
Yeah.
world.
Williams Jr. says respect.
What's up, Mac? Mac was one of my high school teammates.
That's good. That's good. What you think about the
Mac
Super
and
Bowl
Mark.
show? What you think about the Super Bowl halftime show?
Yeah. Good one, man. Yeah.
I was too amped up about the game. Now I like the show. Mind you, I like the show. All right, like I'm not one who's gonna get too up or too. You see all the complaints about the show, or all the people who say it's the greatest thing in the world.
Word,
I'm right.
yeah.
I'm right in the middle. I knew most of the music. I like Kendrick, and I vibe with it. If you don't like it, it's halftime. Go change shirts. Go get a snack. Like, don't just stop complaining.
Yeah,
Stop,
Yeah, for real.
dude. I wrote a Facebook post and I said, "Here come the complaints about the halftime show in three,
Every year.
2, 1."
One.
It's every year.
Every
It's
year, man.
every year. It's like,
Mhm.
dude, let me tell you, if God decides to send Prince and Michael Jackson back,
Back
along
down.
with Elvis Presley and whomever else,
it won't be good enough.
the people won't be happy. And each of them can get 5 minutes each. They won't be happy. Or you could send the top you could send Morgan Wallen or Whalen out. You're gonna have 50% of the people who are gonna say it sucks, right?
Oh yeah. Most
Then
definitely.
then you better not put Beyonce out there, because then they're gonna hate her. Half
Oh yeah.
gonna hate
Especially
her.
right now.
You put Taylor out there, they're gonna hate her. Like, bro, just, you know what? Next year, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a digital halftime show. And you get to press a button of who you want to see, and we'll play videos from your favorite artists. And everybody can be happy.
All right, man. Cool.
Everybody
Keep it
can
simple.
be happy. Keep it simple. Kiss.
Oh, yeah,
As
man.
in the sales world, they say keep it simple, stupid. I know that's not ideal, but hey,
That's
kiss.
for real.
Hey,
Yeah.
so do you have a message for the youth?
Message for the my message is crazy simple. It's crazy simple. As I got older, I realized that most of the stuff that the older people were trying to tell me was actually true. It was true. It might seem harsh. You might think because we all. I'm sure my son sometimes say, I hate him. He's so annoying. I know he probably thinks that, bro. Whatever your parent, most of the times, what your parents or the elders are saying to you, they're saying it out of good faith, man.
Yeah, man. And
They're
love.
telling you out of good faith. My mom, I remember, I'll tell you a quick story. We wanted to go to this party. Uh, hell, it was like my freshman year in college, and I didn't have a car. And I wanted her car to go out. And she's like, nah, I'm not giving you my car because I heard that they're always having stuff popping off at this club, this one club
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
used to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so annoyed. I'm thinking, I'm in college. What? The next morning, we wake up and every single local news station was talking about the shooting at that club.
Wow.
There was a shootout at that club, and one of my cousins actually got grazed. There was a shoot. Dude, most of the times your parents are not telling you things to hurt you or to make it bad for you. They're actually
Yes.
doing things to help you out. Dude, pay attention to what the people are, especially someone who's in position of authority kind of over you. Your
Yeah.
parents, maybe your teachers, maybe your coaches. There's some coaches that I was like, God, what does he tell? Dude, he's really out for you. He's really doing this to help you out.
Oh,
My
yeah.
message is pretty simple, man. You need to actually listen to the people who are trying to give you lessons. Even if the lessons seem harsh or it may not seem like it's for your benefit at the moment.
Yeah.
Take it in.
Mm-hmm.
Take it in. Somehow, some way, you're gonna realize that it was accurate. So that's a pretty simple message, man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
one
What's
last
up, man?
thing, one thing, my grandma used to tell us, my mom's mom, and she used to tell me because I went to Furman. Let's be real. Furman is the opposite of an HBCU. Furman is 3% black. I got a lot of friends who don't look like me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Skin color wise, right?
Yeah.
And people are like, how, you seem like you get along with people, this, that, and the other. My grandma would always tell us, take people as they are. And when you're 7, you're like, Grandmommy, what does that even mean, right?
Give me a little bit more info. Yeah, bro.
She said, you take people as they are, and they'll show you who they are. Take people as they come. And she basically was saying, man, don't judge a book by its cover. Let them show you who they are. And I take that with me nowadays, man. That's something not necessarily for young folks. That's for everybody. Take people
yeah.
as they are. They'll show you their true colors, and you'll realize who's for you, who's against you, or who's somebody you probably should shy away from. And that's fine. You
Right.
should do you. You should do what's best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Any shout outs before we leave? You'd like to thank anybody on your journey, all the way up until
Shit,
NFL, like after football.
man, just my folks, man, just my parents. Shoot, they supported me. You know how it is, man. You can grow up and have one parent or have parents that aren't there or also aren't able to be there. Your dad got to work all the time. He can't come to your games. Your mom works second shift to be able to buy you your stuff, your shoes and your stuff for the event. My parents were always there. So that's my shout out. That's it. And to the Eagles for thank you, everybody.
Sure, man.
Hey.
Well,
I'm gonna shout out Howie Roseman for putting that team together. What's up, Howie?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, you guys just tuned into a new edition of Sports Shop 27.
Hold on, man. Yeah, I want to ask him is there anybody he recommend to come on the show?
Okay.
Oh, good question. I will. Let me think about that, and then I I got somebody I want to recommend to put on the show. One of your former Tigers, McLeon, man, Dexter McLeon. Man, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do, man. Is
We've been trying to get him.
check out his son. Have you seen anything about his son? Is the #1 baseball recruit for 2027. He's all over social media.
Wow.
It's crazy.
A slim dude? Is he a slim dude?
Tall. His name is Dexter McLeon, dude. Yes.
Oh man, I gotta
DJ.
check him out, man.
We
Yeah,
call
he's
him
slapping.
DJ, but it's
He's slapping the ball,
DJ.
KJ. Yeah.
Man, my
It's
sound gone now.
Yep.
DJ's he's a freak, man. What's
Yeah, we'll
crazy
let
is
it
he's
happen too.
already like 6'2", man.
What area is
And
he
he's
in?
a Buford, Georgia,
Okay.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that high school is
man.
stacked too.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. We'll love to make that happen, man. That'd be nice for us, man.
All right,
That's
I'll
cool.
see what I can do for you. Yeah, for
All
sure.
All right. Well, everybody,
All right, fellas.
y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We had a great time with former Philadelphia Eagle tight end Luther Broughton, former Furman University. I'm getting tired, Tom.
That's all good.
Getting late. But hey, for everybody that's watching, you know, we have fun tonight. Make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Deezer. And also you can watch this show as soon as we end the live session, okay? You know how our motto goes, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
We
Until
finished, man.
time, you guys stay safe and be blessed. Peace.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.